Welcome to Lindamood-Bell Radio. I'm Dave Hungerford for Lindamood-Bell. Are you looking for personalized schooling for your child? Lindamood-Bell Academy offers tailored education to meet each student's unique needs. Our academy provides individualized school curriculum, evidence-based instruction, and flexible attendance options, in person or live online. Help your child thrive with Lindamood-Bell Academy. Learn more at lindamoodbell.com or call us at 800-233-1819. Today's episode is a conversation I had with Shelly V. We talked about her daughter's experience going through the Lindamood-Bell Academy. Here it is.
I'm Shelly, and my daughter is Brooklyn. She's 9 years old, and this is her first year here doing the academy at Lindamood-Bell. We came for the summer program, and it was phenomenal. And I had reservations about bringing her for the summer program because it was so intensive. And after we had her testing done here at the end of May, it was very clear to me that this is where she needed to be.
What do they talk about in the testing?
Well, the end-all result of the testing was them letting me know why she was having such a difficult time in school up to this point. I knew that she was struggling. I knew that she was having trouble finding focus. And the way that the academics were presented at her other school were just were not resonating with her at all. And I didn't really know why. And so I have a friend who's a behaviorist, and I asked him to sit in on her class, and he did. And he is the one that asked me if I had ever heard of Lindamood-Bell, and I said I had not. And so he recommended that I bring Brooklyn simply just for the testing. And that was really my plan, was to bring her to have her tested so that I could figure out what school to send her to in the fall, so that I would have an idea of what she needed. And after meeting Emily and talking with Emily and having the testing done and seeing the results, Brooklyn has very severe dyslexia, every sign of severe dyslexia. And so it made so much sense at that point. It made sense to me why her other school wasn't connecting with her academically. She also has sensory and auditory processing challenges. And so even though she was in a very child-centered school for the last 3 years before coming to the academy, last year only 7 kids in her class, still she could not academically focus. She couldn't really get through listening to the teacher's instructions and at the end of it know what she was supposed to do. So it was becoming frustrating for her because she was recognizing that there was a difference between what she could do and what her peers could do. And that was becoming difficult. I didn't have, and still actually do not have, a really strong understanding of what dyslexia looks like or what it feels like to have it. What I recognized in Brooke is that she was enjoying a lot of what went on at her school because it was a very child-centered, very kind program for her to be in. And I feel good about the fact that she was allowed at any time to get up and leave the area and draw, go outside on the swings, play in the garden, chase the butterflies. That's how I get through the fact that it must have been a really frustrating year for her, especially her last year, because she wasn't able to keep up with her peers.
She struggled with reading, getting the words off the page?
Yes. She, when she came here for her testing, when she started the summer program, she really was considered illiterate, and even at 8 years old, because there were very few words that she could read. She's incredibly bright. She's a sponge that just gathers information from all the areas that feel comfortable to her that she could gather. She's really more like a lighthouse where she just takes in all of the information from any medium that she can gather it, because she couldn't read and she could spell a few words, and math, the numbers didn't make sense to her. There was nothing that was connecting with her. So it was becoming more and more frustrating for her. And for me, I was, not frustrated at her, but just not really sure what to do for the future.
It was a while ago, I know, but can you recall that testing process? What was the plan of attack that they wanted to do here?
All I really remember thinking about it is she's going to be there for 4 hours. It's going to be so difficult. I had a very, right away, I had a panicked feeling about it, just very panicked. And I said to Emily, how is she going to get through 4 hours of sitting in a chair? I had never seen her sit. It's not who Brooklyn is. She's not going to get through it. And Emily said, it's okay. We're going to take it slow. If she needs to come back a couple of times, then that's what we'll do. So I said, okay. So I just trusted. I came here. I sat out in the waiting room while she did her testing, and gals came out and said about halfway through, I think we're going to be done early. She's so focused. She's just concentrating and working so hard. Now, focused, I will tell you, is not a term that had ever been used to describe Brooke. So I was like, wow, this is amazing. And still, even after the testing was done, I still had no intention of sending her for the summer. That was not my plan. She had just been through a school year. She was going to go to camp. She was going to swim all summer. We were just going to play. And then we came and met with Emily and saw the test results. And some of the results surprised me. I had no idea that she had dyslexia. I had no idea really what it meant or how severe it was, or, I knew that she was having difficulty. And then there was the other side of the testing that I already knew as a mom. She tested in that, like 5th grade at the 9th month level for problem solving, for being able to sort of think outside the box, and which is all things I already knew about Brooke. And at that point, I said, well, okay, we have to dive into this summer program. And still I was panicked. 5 days a week, 4 hours a day. This is not going to go well. And Emily said, you know what, we just take it slow. This is what we're going to do. So I brought her, and on the 3rd day, we were walking out of her 3rd day here, and Brooklyn said, Mommy, thank you so much for finding my new school. It is the right place for me. Thank you so much. And I was like, wow, okay, here we go. We can do this. So we got through 8 weeks of summer. It was amazing. Reading by the end of summer. And then it was really when the academy was starting up, first year of academy here at Lindamood-Bell. I said, well, this is where we need to be. And she loves school. Brooklyn loves school. Last year, she hated math. She would tell you it was the worst thing in the world. Loves it now. Yeah.
Take that as a victory.
It's been a wonderful experience. She needed the one-on-one. And that's the best thing about this school for Brooklyn. She loves her cubicle. And the fact that she is able to have distraction if she chooses to have distraction. She can say hello to the kids. She can walk around. She can take a brain break if she needs that. But if she doesn't want that distraction, she doesn't have to have it. There's not a bunch of kids running around. It's very focused. Yeah.
And she talked to you all about like kind of the imagery.
Emily talked to me about that in the summer and how it's so important for Brooklyn to be able to see the words in her mind. And it's been really so much fun to watch that sort of evolve for her in her language skills and in her reading and her spelling and in her math.
And so with the establishment of the academy, the summer thing you did was very focused on
Yes.
the process.
Yes.
Reading and maybe some comprehension, but it sounds
Yes.
like her comprehension was pretty high to begin with.
Mm-hmm. It was.
This is school where there's content. What does that look like? The content that she has, like the science and the math and the history and social studies or whatever.
I was concerned about what the content might be in the academy program, and I wasn't sure how much more than just worksheets or workbooks they would be doing. And when you visit her cubby, her cubicle, you can see that they're expanding so much on with the history and with the science and the posters that she's making and the volcano that she just, her 3D volcano model that she just made last week. And they're able to make it all so interesting and exciting for her. And she just is moving forward through. We started with 2nd grade work, actually started with 1st grade work. And she's 9, so typically would be a 3rd, maybe even 4th grader. And now she's worked through 2nd grade work and is doing now 3rd grade work and keeping up with what that curriculum would be if you were in, let's say, a more traditional program.
So she's kind of closing the gap?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. She doesn't bring things home to work on. She draws and reads and, at home. And we talk about her day, but she usually by the end of the day is tired and doesn't want to share a whole bunch about it. When she has done something that's hands-on, like her 3D volcano, or her poster about plants, or her poems that she writes, then she likes to share those with me when I come in the morning the next day, and she'll show those to me.
What kind of person is she?
Gosh, she's Brooklyn is just this light, just this person that is so kind and so empathetic and so challenging in many different ways. And she challenges me every day. She loves bugs and snakes and science, and has 15 different careers that she wants to do. And just now, because of how quickly she's progressed here at Lindamood-Bell, she sees herself now being able to do all of those careers, which is marine biology and saving the whales. And we're moving to a new house, and she really wants a greenhouse because she really wants to be able to have the garden growing and sell the vegetables and sell the fruits. And she loves animals, loves to fish, loves the outdoors, loves to swim. Science is very important to her. The explosion aspect of science, the chemistry aspect, the putting things together, mixing things and seeing what will happen.
Disruptive technology.
Yes, absolutely.
So you said she was at a smaller school to start. A lot of times one of the concerns people have about school in a variety of ways is the social aspect. Did you think about that? And if so, you're thinking in terms of the academy and her socializing.
I had concerns about the social aspect of her coming because I didn't really understand how much time she would get to see the kids that are here for tutoring, because there are children here for tutoring, hourly tutoring or several hours, and then there are other kids who are here for academy. Brooklyn comes from 10 to 3 every day with a 1 hour break for lunch. And I didn't really know how that would go. I felt hesitant about how it might feel for her here. It has not been a concern at all. She considers, in the summertime, she considered every teacher and every child here to be her friends and would talk about them at home. And they take a 15-minute break here, a 5-minute break there, spend the lunch hour together. And, she does talk about missing her friends at the other school. She does talk about that. But she says, Mommy, this is the place for me to be. And I asked her one day, why does Lindamood-Bell feel like the place for you? And she said, because they know how to teach my brain. And she's very kind. She would never want to throw anyone or anything under the bus. And she will always say, my other school is a good school, Mommy. It just wasn't the right school for me. They didn't know how to teach my brain. And at Lindamood-Bell, they know how to teach my brain. So Brooklyn was tested at the beginning of the summer. And then after the 8 weeks, she was tested again at the end of the summer. And her results were phenomenal. There had been so much growth for her. Like I said, at the beginning of summer, she wasn't reading. The end of the summer, she was reading chapter books. And now, even this many more months in, now 6 months into academy, she wakes up in the middle of the night to read. She reads full chapter books now by herself. And she has always been a child who has never been interested necessarily in the fairy tale books. She wants facts. She's always wanted the facts. And so now she's just growing so tremendously because she reads all about the earth and volcanoes and science and animals and the facts the knowledge that she can gain because she can read is.
And some of the things that we test on are very specific word attack skills and these things. Did those show growth that you saw?
Yes. Yeah.
Was she at a point where she knew she wasn't kind of progressing with her peers? Did it have an emotional effect on her? She seemed like pretty happy, described a pretty happy person. Mm-hmm. Did that have an emotional effect? And if so, what was that?
Brooklyn was playing with the kids at school less and less. And it's the school that she was at was a student body of about 48 kids, kindergarten through the 6th grade. And they did a lot of multi-age projects together and a lot of mentoring from the older kids to the younger kids. But there was a small group of girls who were kind of around her age, and she just was really spending a lot more time on her own, because even the play, it seemed like, was progressing, sort of maturing, whereas Brooklyn just wasn't comfortable with even the play that was maturing. And even as she was still their same age, she wasn't sort of at their level as far as even the play went.
Did you see that at home as well? Like your interactions with her?
Sometimes she would seem more mature, so much her age, and then other times she would seem sort of regress and go backwards a little bit, be a little bit less mature. I think that some of it does have to do with her sensory and her auditory processing.
So we're about halfway through, a little past halfway through the school year, I guess. What are your future plans?
Well, Brooklyn is already negotiating to come back again next year. She's been negotiating with me for several months now. I would love for Brooklyn to be able to come to Lindamood-Bell every year. So my intention for this coming up school year, at least now, is to possibly integrate Brooklyn into the public school that is near where we are moving to, and maybe spend the first month there and see whether or not it serves her and supports her in who she is. And if not, then we will be back here, because I know that this is absolutely the best place for her to be, and I would like for her to be here every year. I wish that every child that I know, that Brooklyn knows, could come here. I have so many friends who, when I talk with them about Brooke's experience at Lindamood-Bell, I say, oh gosh, that sounds like my child. That's what my child needs. And I know that that is true. I know that in the public schools and other traditional settings, it's difficult when you have a classroom of 28 kids to really support every child in what they need, and for every child to really, at the end of the day, feel valued. And Brooklyn feels valued here and very listened to, and I as a parent feel very listened to here. And that feels good. I'm so thrilled and so thankful to have the opportunity to have Brooklyn experience Lindamood-Bell. I didn't know it existed until someone told me about it, and I'm so thankful to that person. I didn't know what I was going to do for Brooke. I just knew that I needed to get her in a program that really supported her and really served who she is. I didn't want to change who she was. I just really needed to find a program that would support her. And I did that, and I feel so thankful for that. It came together so beautifully. And she loves school. She loves to be here. She loves the people. She's motivated to be here. She's, so excited about what she's learning. And you can't ask for more than that. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for listening. You can reach us at our website, lindamoodbell.com, or call us at 800-233-1819. You can also follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and X. We are Lindamood-Bell.